University Open Days in Australia 2022. Talk to the right people. Yep, don't be afraid to speak up at information sessions because this is a life-changing decision you could be making, so make sure you don't leave the open day with questions unanswered. Write down important information and grab pamphlets so you have information handy when you're finalising your preferences. Another thing to consider is it might pay to write down a list of questions in advance for each information session. Make a list of things you want to find out about, such as student exchange or clubs and societies. And there's plenty of these available for international students to get involved in, so you can reduce the impact of missing family and friends who are back home overseas. And finally, student guides will be available. Ask them a question. They'll usually be in very easily identifiable bright uniforms or red t-shirts or pink t-shirts. And not only will they clue you in on all the best spots on campus, they'll be able to honestly answer all your questions about what life at that particular university is about from a student perspective. The Good Universities Guide is sharing 5 tips for tackling open days. Some of the other tips that you can read about on the Good University Guide's website is that make a plan, come prepared. As we said, talk to the right people, make time to explore the campus, and above all, enjoy yourself. If your dream is to attend university in Australia as an international student, August, September 2022, it can only mean one thing: open days. No matter what age you are, or even if you're a mature age student looking to expand your qualifications, open days are a fun way to get a taste of university life. Find out the information you need and narrow down your options. There's a lot of common sense advice available, all of it supplied by the universities. Here's just a couple. LaTrobe University, they've written some website content on 7 ways to make the most of open day, and Victoria University also how to make the most of uni open days. The links are below in the description, and we've got some tips for tackling open days as well. And if you can't get there in person, especially if you're overseas, guess what? A lot of these universities have the option that you can get online and be there in a virtual sense. If you're a future student or a prospective international student, if you're a parent of maybe your child wants to come to Australia to study, well, guess what? Most universities in Australia have an open day of some description. Some even provide campus tours, and some actually provide a combination of campus tours and virtual tours of not just their campuses, but many other facilities. Now, these information sessions for specific groups of people, not just future students, but also parents and career markets and such. Now, also, if you go to their website, many will likely have documents that you can download to help you discern which is the best university education in Australia for you and your child. What are the best ways to make the most of university open days occurring around the country in Australia? Well, guess what? We can give you a few tips on how to tackle open days. G'day and welcome to This International Student Life. We tell stories, and our story is international student education. Wise Words Media is always looking for great stories about international students in Melbourne, and we're always keen to share any story of any student here that we think might be helpful to those. You might be currently overseas just trying to decide whether to come to Australia. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. This International Student Life is produced by Wise Words Media. This episode contains nil paid promotions. All information in this episode is taken from sources available to the public in the public domain. Wise Words Media accepts no responsibility for any errors or omissions of information in this episode.